Yeah, just started the recording, and yes, give me a moment. Oh, what the heck is that? Give me a moment. Something's happening on one of my computers. Um, okay, all right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot. We've got a lot to cover on this evening. For the next maybe few Thursdays, we probably need to expect maybe about a 75-minute to perhaps even 90-minute session, so that we can cover any THW global updates and then get into our training content. For those of you who are new to us or newer to our webinars, our Preparing for Gold webinar series, Tuesday night is a combo night. This is where we present for about the first 30 to 35 minutes or so about THW Global, so that you can get new people joining with you, and then maybe some new people that have just joined but don't really know what they've joined or what have you. There's a lot of buzz, but they maybe don't know what the substance is. So that's what we do Tuesday nights for. And then we also do what we call finger paint basic marketing training on Tuesday nights. We did record this past Tuesday night. I had a problem with rendering it, and it looks like we're going to get that resolved. I was afraid that we might not be able to get that taken care of at all. We've not completed it because we've been working on the mobile marketing system. That takes priority right now. So those of you who are waiting for the Tuesday night webinar, we'll get that out as soon as we possibly can. We're recording tonight's session. Once again, though, it may be a slight delay in getting this out because of the mobile marketing component. There's some things we've got to hit some deadlines so that we can get her launched before the end of the month. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to cover some THW Global things, and then hopefully time will permit for us to talk about mobile marketing. There's been a lot that has happened in just the last few days. I will tell you that this time last week, when we were on the webinar, I was operating a lot on hope, a lot on faith. Faith obviously is the earnest expectation or the hope of things that you don't quite see just yet. You know, maybe you've got a vision of it, but it hasn't manifested itself just yet. We knew that beta was about to start, but they were saying in a few weeks. And then on Friday they said beta is going to start on Monday, and it actually started on Sunday. And so, people started viewing, and I think there were like 8 million views or something in the first 2.5 days. And then yesterday, I'm out and about, and I was waiting in line, so I'm on my phone, and I said, well, shoot, let's get some viewing in. And while I'm getting some viewing in, up pops an ad for Icy Hot. Shaquille O'Neal, the famous basketball star, is the pitch man. And I said, oh, my gosh. And those of you who know me know I have no hair, but I declare I felt like I was about to grow some. And I'm like, real ads. Real ads. None of this revenue sharing, only ads coming from network marketers stuff. We're talking real brands. So I get in touch with my wife. I said, hey, babe, do some viewing and tell me what you see. And then she texted me back. She said, hey, babe, I just saw a Bounty commercial. That's a big toilet tissue and like paper towels and things of that nature. And then when I got back home and got in front of the computer, and what I've been doing is I've been going to the recently added. All right, I've been going to the recently added, and this is where I'm seeing a lot of the ones with ads. So I'm gonna take a look at this one right here, for instance, and let's see if we get an ad here. Let's see if we get an ad. Okay, no ad on that one. Let me see if we can get an ad on something here. There was an ad on the LeBron James one, so let's see if there's another ad here. Give us a moment. No. So, in any event, I've been going under recently added, which is where I've been seeing quite a few other ads. I didn't see this one. Maybe see if we get an ad. Come on, give me an ad. Okay, no ad there. Okay, but in any event, I've seen quite a few national brands like Sensodyne, which is like a toothpaste type deal, and Duracell, which is batteries. I've seen movies. And so if you missed our post earlier, I'm going to put in a link in your chat box. Go on and pull it. Don't look at it right now. But if you missed our post earlier today, we sent it out through push notification as well as email. We walk you through some of the commercials that or ads that we were seeing. So it certainly, ladies and gentlemen, appears that she is gold. All right. And even though we just started seeing this, it is very clear to me that they didn't just put this together last week. This is something that they've been working on behind the scenes. Maybe this is why we haven't heard from them, because they've been working so hard behind the scenes, and really excited for all of our audience. I want to do just a couple of quick announcements here. By the way, I want you to see something. Okay, so this is the Michael Phelps video. Let me see if in our back office, if it shows this yet. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I'm still here on the Michael Phelps. And back here under viewing history, it shows that particular video. Now, see, this to me tells me that these folks have been working on this for a minute. It didn't just happen. That's a phraseology. So maybe we got people from all across the world, so you may not know what I mean by that. They've been working on this for a while. They've been working on this for a while. So we watched the LeBron James not long ago. That was there. We had the Simone Biles. That was there. While we were still waiting to come onto the webinar, I was running the DEA marijuana to remain illegal, Gotham, the LeBron James. So all that's back there, ladies and gentlemen. You can see, for instance, today I have viewed 35 minutes and 56 seconds of what could have been viewed. I've viewed 29 minutes and 51 of that. Some of these, like what I just did, I didn't view the entire video. And I'm sure that ultimately we'll even see where ads were served or ads were viewed, so on and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm loving what I am seeing. Let's give you a couple of other quick announcements. This was a post. You should find this in your back office under your message center. Let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. All right. Ads now being served. So what happened was they started beta, and my understanding is when beta started that people from around the globe, they were able to see videos. They didn't necessarily have a lot of ads or commercials initially. I'm talking like on Monday or Tuesday. And then there was a post that said that the United States would continue with its viewing, but that the rest of the world was going to be put on hold. And this came out sometime. I'm not sure what time today this came out, but it says today we have also added Andorra, Austria, Bulgaria, Canada, Switzerland, Germany, Denmark, Spain, Finland, France, UK, Greece, Croatia, Ireland, Iceland, Italy, can't pronounce that one, Malta, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Sweden, Slovakia, back into the THW Global Video Platform beta testing. All of these countries are also seeing ads from Tier 1 advertisers. Not sure exactly what that means, but at least from what I've seen, these are big advertisers. Additional countries will be added back soon as well. So they talked about that. They talked about with the huge success of the THW Global Video Platform beta testing, the management of THW Global feels strongly that we're on track. It says for all IVs. Boy, I hope that's right. It says for all IVs to begin viewing videos and earning video credits for doing so within weeks. Like the last time they said something within weeks, it was within days. So, don't know that that's going to happen. It still may be weeks. We still have about 30 days before the soft launch timer counts down. It says all IVs. I hope that wasn't in their haste that they put all, but didn't mean all. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure. if that means all 100 countries or so that are represented. Um, it says that we're less than 30 days away from introducing direct video and display ad sales for the THW Global Video platform. Not sure exactly what that means. I can have some conjecture. I do know that it looks like, just like with YouTube, you're going to be able to upload content. And at some point, I think we'll even be able to advertise, just like, I could go, you could go right now, and you could start running ads with YouTube about whatever it is you want to run ads about. So I'm not sure if that means we can start loading content, if we can start maybe even getting local businesses involved in advertising. Not quite sure exactly what that says, because the next sentence says online certification of our IVs to sell ads to be served through the platform. So that leads me to believe that there's the option, not that anybody has to, but there's the option for maybe being able to sell ads in your local area. So it looks like there's an online certification for people to be able to do that. That will also become available around the same time. Please keep in mind that certification will be completely optional and is not required to earn credits for viewing a video. Someone asked me earlier today, and I just haven't had a chance to I've got loads of emails from you good folks, and it's just tough to get to all of them and stay on track for the mobile marketing system. So just bear with us on that, okay? But someone asked me, hey, do you think that they'll ever have some type of membership fee? If all of a sudden we've got 10 million members, and even if they just charge $20 a month, that would bring in a tremendous amount of revenue for the company. I don't know that they'll ever do that, because the model seems to be following after, let's say, YouTube, the Facebooks of the world, or what have you, where people can join for free. If you look at the advertising itself, if you look at where we're reviewing ads, there's nothing on the site where we're viewing ads that suggests network marketing, that suggests 10 levels, that suggests a binary that's going to come down the road. If you want to attract tens of millions of folks, then you want that kind of stuff kind of in the background, where people are looking at this as another YouTube or an alternative to YouTube type platform, so on and so forth. So I don't think that we'll ever, and they've actually said in some of their information that people won't have to purchase anything in order to view and to earn credits and to make money, so on and so forth. So this appears to be something that's completely optional, but this is what I expect. I expect that they will introduce things that are optional that could lead to more revenue for the company and more revenue for the field. So it says this: our online IV certification process will also launch phase 2 of our compensation plan, our coded bonus. That's the first time I've heard of a coded bonus. Don't have time to really cover what a coded bonus is, but I will tell you that back in the 90s, there was a company called Excel Telecommunications, and they had one of their top earners was generating well over $1 million a month, primarily from a coded bonus type of system. We've seen other companies that pretty much copied that particular model, and that is a way that a lot of bonus money can be generated pretty quickly. The certification process will pay a minimum coded bonus of $10 with a maximum coded bonus of $100. This one bonus will create many millions of dollars in commissions to our certified IVs. Not knowing any more than what I just read, what I would tell you is whenever that certification is available, take advantage of it. Okay, even if you're not going to go out and solicit local companies, take advantage of the certification, buy whatever the certification happens to be. Then as people follow suit in your organization, sounds like that's going to generate quite a bit of money. All right. And keep in mind, as far as I'm concerned, THW Global can have all of these ancillary things and nobody should bark at it, because ain't none of us paid a dime yet. Okay. So when you look at THW Global through the eyes of network marketing, we would be on some type of auto ship, some type of subscription, whether we're paying $50 a month, $100 a month, $150 a month, $200 a month. There's some platforms out there now in network marketing where you might be outlaying as much as $400 a month for their primary product or service. Well, we're not paying any of that. So if they come up with something that's optional, for me, it ain't optional. I'm doing it so that I can look all of my folks in the eyes, even though I don't see you, and say, do it. And in doing so, that creates more revenue for all of us, particularly those of us that are team building. And to be honest with you, if you're not here to build a team, then these Thursday nights are probably not for you. I don't want to waste your time. Even if you have not built a team previously, if you've struggled previously, you're here on Thursday nights because you ultimately do want to build a team. Okay, so that is my THW Global announcements. Let's go to work. Give me a moment. Wrong PowerPoint, I think. That's what I want. Okay, all right. So let's go to work. Let's go to work. So our objective, ladies and gentlemen, is to assist you in building a long-term sustainable business, Teresa, with multiple streams of income, Wanda, across multiple niches, so that you ultimately have the financial freedom, Shayla, and the time freedom to hotly pursue, Wilson, the passions of your heart. We will start each of our Thursday night webinars when we get into the training with this statement, because I want you to understand that, Tanya, we are here to assist you. We're here to assist you in developing a long-term sustainable business. Now, a long-term sustainable business is more than THW Global. THW Global is not your business, Eugene. THW Global is not your business. Your business is you and your following. Your business is you and your following. That is what you can control in this make money online space. You can control you, and you can control building and communicating with your following. You obviously can't control the people. You can't make anybody do anything, but you can control you building a following. And as you build a following, you will have a percentage of people that when you make an offer, THW Global, when you make an offer, maybe you've got a weight loss product. When you make an offer, maybe there's a nutritional product. When you've got an offer, maybe there's a tool or resource that you want people to consider using that will help them in their business and also help with your bottom line. You want to have a following that whatever you talk about, there are people that are listening. Now, as excited as I am about THW Global, I've been in this industry for 20 plus years. And because I've seen great companies come, I've also seen great companies go. Let me give you an example. And I'm not saying that THW Global is going anywhere, but because of what I've seen, this is why I teach what I teach. This is why I practice what I practice. So back in the 90s, there's this company called XL Telecommunications, and they were hot. My gosh, they were hot. And they produced a ton of seven-figure producers. There was a gentleman that I knew, met him back in the early 2000s. He had made over $12 million over his stint there with XL Telecommunications. He and his lovely wife had just built their dream home. I think it was like 13,000 square feet on several acres. They just moved in. And what happened previously is that the owner of XL Telecommunications sold the business. He saw a big payday. Company offered him a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars to sell the company. The owner sells the company. The new people come in, and they've got a totally different vision than the original owner. And the new people came in and basically ran the company into the ground. And so what this company that was this once juggernaut, where people were generating millions, literally millions of dollars a year with that particular company. One guy was generating over 7 figures a month promoting that particular company. Well, now all of a sudden, at no fault of his own, all right, and I can't fault the owner. The owner, that was his deal. That was his blood, sweat, and he decided to sell out. Took his multiple hundreds of $1 million payday. All right, that's part of, being an entrepreneur. Probably thought that they were going to continue. The new owners were going to continue. The new owners just didn't have the same heart, didn't have the same vision. Ran it into the ground. A few years later, that company files bankruptcy. And so my buddy The week that he moves into his 13,000 square foot home, I think it was about a $3 million home, that he finds out that the company is filing bankruptcy and the company is going to be no more. There was a company called Your Travel Biz. Boy, it was hot. It was hot. Back in the mid 2000s, 2003, 4, 5, 6, it was hot. It was hot. It was hot. It was hot. I knew essentially what we would call a master distributor. I knew the master distributor. I forget exactly. I think he was making $600,000 or $700,000 a month. And all of a sudden, that company ran into some regulatory headwinds. Now, I don't see any regulatory issues with THW Global because nobody's paying for anything. All right, nobody's buying anything. So I certainly don't see any regulatory issues or anything like that. But in any event, with YTB ran into some regulatory issues, and they ran into some fights with some various states. Now, they ultimately, my understanding, they were ultimately exonerated, but it was several years of long battles, and by the time all that stuff, finished out, YTB was a shell of itself. They tried to resurrect themselves, and it just didn't work out. Okay, so what my aim is to help you build a long-term sustainable business. Prayerfully, THW Global is gold, and she's gold for years and years and years and years and years to come. And there's no reason why that shouldn't happen. If we go back and we take a look at YouTube, starting back in 2005, and we now see that YouTube's worth $100 billion. All right, but my role now is not to have you to say I do to THW Global. It's to say, hey, she's beautiful. You might want to take her out. You might want to take him out. Go out on a date. All right, but your business is not THW Global. As much as I'm going to promote her and developing systems to promote her fervently, she's not my business. I don't control what happens to THW Global. I don't make the decisions. What I can control Doc. I can control me. I can't control people that are in my list, that are in my following, but I can control having a following and let the numbers do what the numbers do. There's always the law of averages. The law of averages always rely on the law of large numbers. So the law of large numbers say, Alan, if I am building my list and I'm building a relationship with my list, a percentage of my list is going to ultimately do business with me. They're going to buy whatever it is I'm pitching. They're going to join whatever it is I'm asking them to join, at least a percentage of them. Okay? All right, so now that's our objective. Now, the first thing I want to make sure that we've all done as it relates to THW Global is, because I know a lot of us aren't big at building referral networks yet. We don't quite know how to do it just yet. And that's why these Thursday nights are important. That's why the systems that we're developing are going to be important, so that you can start learning this stuff and implementing this stuff in bite-sized pieces. Now, one thing I want to make sure that we all have done is that if you have, Billy, people in your household 18 years or older, make sure they get registered. Now, there's a question as to whether or not that number has come down to 13, because when you read the terms and conditions, it says that folks have to be 13. I don't know if that means that someone can be an international viewer, can actually make money at 13, or if that number is still 18. So for right now, until we get clarification, let's make sure that everyone that's in our household that's 18 or above has registered, one, and has filled out the demographic survey, number 2. So if you are like this family, it looks like they have at least 2, perhaps all 3 children, might be 18 or older. All right, this is a family potentially of 5. I've got a family of 4 that are 18 and over. We're a family of 5. My little girl is 9, but my 2 sons, my wife, yours truly. So if nothing else, I should have my wife referred, my 2 sons referred, if nothing else. If nothing else, my wife should be viewing, my 2 sons should be viewing. And so even though we're in beta, what I ask my sons, hey, have you viewed today? Have you viewed today? Babe, my wife, I call her babe or I call her Schnook. Schnook, have you viewed today? Okay? All right, so let's make sure that we are doing that. Excuse me for coughing in your ear. Now, a few weeks ago, we did a poll on the webinar. And on the poll, we asked, hey, what's your dream income? 97% of the folks said they wanted to make a minimum of $5,000 a month. Only 3% said they wanted to make less than that. And I don't think it's that they want to make less than that. They probably didn't believe they could make more than that, okay? In that poll, we gave some ranges, and 76% of those that were polled said, I want to make some more money. I want to make somewhere between $10,000 to $49,999. And then a whopping 40% said, I really want to make some money. I want to make 50 grand a month or more. Now, based on that poll, what this tells me is that if you're going to make that, and let's say right now you're doing that through THW Global, obviously once we're viewing and once we start making money, let's say that becomes your primary marketing income stream. It should never be your only one. It should never be your only one. It should never be your only one. Okay, but let's say that becomes the biggest income producer that you have in your toolbox of income producing portfolio systems. Okay, well, what this says to me is that if you're going to get to $5,000 a month, most people aren't going to have 5 people in the household that are 18. So if you're going to get to $5,000 a month, if you're going to get to $10,000 to $50,000, you're going to have to do that on purpose. All right, that's not just going to come from viewing. That's going to come from developing a referral network. And obviously, if you're going to get to $50,000 a month, that's going to come from developing a referral network. Now, here's the challenge. Most people are not good at developing referral networks. Most people are not good at building teams. But when you understand the whys, why aren't people good at building teams? Why aren't people good at recruiting? Why aren't people good at sales? It becomes a fairly simple fix. It becomes a fairly simple fix. Problem number one is most people don't have appropriate tools and resources where they're capturing the lead to build their list. Whether it's an email list, obviously we will also focus on a mobile marketing list. So you've got to have tools, you've got to have the resources so that you can start to build the list. It's going to start with your list. Most folks, now let me tell you what's going to happen that's going to frustrate a lot of folks, okay? What tends to happen in network marketing is you will have a few leaders that know how to produce content or brand themselves and get themselves out in the marketplace, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's on Facebook, whether that's on Twitter, so on and so forth, okay? So let's call this person Joe Star or Joe Superstar. All right, this is the person that can, like Currency 365, if you're on the webinar, dude, I'm so proud of you. I go in, I put in THW Global in the search in YouTube, and I've got an envy of you, man. You got so many of your videos on the home page. And I'm like, dude, man, you keep getting your videos on the home page and ranked as the second or third video. No wonder you've got tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of collective views. Man, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. All right. But so what happens is, you get Joe Average, you get Sue Average simply posting in Facebook or simply posting on a free site saying, hey, join THW Global with the THW Global link. Now, what you just did, if you're Joe or Susie Average, is you just advertised THW Global, okay? Now, what a lot of people then do, maybe you send them an email, maybe they saw your post on Facebook. Now what a lot of people do is they're going to go to YouTube and they're going to put in keyword THW Global and they're going to start watching videos and they're going to find someone that resonates with them, that messaging resonates with them. Maybe them having their face on camera resonates with them. And so what's going to happen is that my Joe Average and my Sue Average are going to promote THW Global without the proper tools, without the proper resources, without driving high-quality laser-targeted traffic, and they simply promote the name. Then somebody else goes to Google and they Google, and then the dude or the dudette that's really good at ranking on Google with backlinks and having a review site and all that stuff, that's who gets the recruit. Or the person that's good at YouTube. There's a reason why I have 40 plus videos on YouTube, because I know that a lot of people are going to go to YouTube, put in THW Global, and they don't have a sponsor yet. They've seen, posts all over about THW Global, and they say, well, what the heck is this THW Global thing all about? They go to YouTube, and I've got 40 plus videos. I've got a better shot of them stumbling across my videos, watching my videos, saying, that guy brings some great content. I think I want to join him. And then scrolling down and seeing my link and joining with me and so on and so forth. And I know I've probably gotten 50 to 75, maybe 100 recruits just from that, because I haven't done any paid traffic just yet. So we had our initial thrust with my list. All right. And that brought in, some real nice figures. And then since then, a lot of the people that were already in my list have already heard it. And the ones that were going to join me. And the ones that weren't, didn't. But I still continue to have a nice steady stream of people joining. And that names I don't know. In many cases, names that seem to be non-English names. And I can only assume that many of these folks stumbled across my information. Okay, so how do you compete if you're Joe Average if you're not a content creator? That's one of the reasons why many folks struggle, because what you've been doing in promoting your weight loss company, what you've been doing in promoting your nutritional company, what you've been doing in promoting whatever other deal that you are promoting, is you would send out a link, whether it was on Facebook or Twitter or via email. You would have the name of the offer in the link. All right, so many people didn't go and get a domain name and say joinjeff.com and then it points to THW Global. They would have it, go to my username.THW Global site and send out an email, and you just advertise THW Global, and it's likely that unless that person knows you really well, that they're going to go over to YouTube, or they're going to go to Facebook, or they're going to go somewhere else, find out more information, find someone that kind of more resonates with them because somebody's bringing some value to them. I can tell you, if somebody is Spanish speaking, they may run across my videos, but they don't hear me speaking Spanish. They see somebody else with a Spanish video or with a Russian video, they're likely going to join the person with the Russian video or with the Spanish video, so on and so forth. So you have to have the right tools and resources that allow you to build a captive audience, a captive following. And if you don't have that and you're struggling to recruit, whether it's in THW or something else, that's a big reason why. Then you must get high quality, laser targeted traffic to not just your landing page, not just your registration page with THW Global. All right. Now, obviously THW Global is free, so that makes it easier to sign people up. But here's the challenge. All right. And we saw it in the numbers of THW reporting how many beta viewers that we had. Okay, so we had well over 750,000 folks that have registered. A lot of them registered because it was free. All right, and that can be a double-edged sword, because a lot of people are going to treat it like what, Andrew? Free. Out of sight, out of mind. They saw a bunch of posts real quickly on Facebook. They registered, but they don't really know what they registered for. They don't really understand what's going on. That's why we do the webinars and the training that we do, so we give more understanding, because an educated consumer will consume more. Our folks, when I say our folks, not necessarily on our team, those who follow us, once viewing starts, are likely to have a higher average viewership because they understand it more. An educated consumer consumes more. Now, what you ultimately want to do, yes, you want people to register with you, but what we saw is a lot of people registered, but they're not in anybody's email list. They're not in anybody's SMS text list. And so they registered. but they're not paying attention. And so now when beta started, especially if a person had personally enrolled quite a few folks, but none of those people were in a list where they could push a button and send out a quick message to all those folks, it was difficult. And doing a blind CC to all of your folks is not a professional way to market. You may have to start there, but you ultimately want to have the tools and the resources. And then ultimately, even if you have a responsive list, even if you have people that follow you, at some point you're going to hit the wall. At some point, when you send out your emails, when you send out your text messages, when you post on Facebook, the people that do pay attention to you, at some point, all of those are going to join, whether or not join. They're going to buy or not buy. And then you're going to have to get more eyeballs to your offer. Your friends and family are not enough to build a large-scale business, even if you had a great relationship with your friends and family, and your friends and family were listening to you about any type of business. Your Facebook following isn't enough unless you're adding consistently to that following by driving some type of traffic to your fan page or Facebook group or what have you and providing value. Okay? So tools and resources plus traffic, tools and resources and plus traffic is what you must have to build a long-term sustainable business. A long-term sustainable business says if you are in Excel and Excel dies because the company was sold, the owners took a big payday, and then the new owners came in and drove the company in the ground and the company is no more, being in a long-term sustainable business means you've got a following so that when you figure out what your next move is, you've got people that are going to flock to you. Or hopefully, while you were building your Excel business, you had a second or a third income stream. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you were cross-recruiting or that the same people that are in your Excel business or in your DEF business or what have you, because once you have the tools, have the resources, and learn how to drive traffic to your offer, you can set up different campaigns. I have campaigns that I don't talk to you about. I have ways that I can generate revenues that I never do a live webinar about. Because I learned, oh, I can set up this campaign over here and I can drive traffic to that campaign. That's another income stream. That's a totally separate niche that has nothing to do with my THW following. And that's ultimately what you want to have. Now, before beta testing, you know, we were asking, is it crap? Is it gold? And had it turned out to be crap, and it certainly doesn't look like that, it looks like gold. Had it turned out to be crap, so many people would have been walking with their head tucked between their tail and feeling hopelessness. Yet, if you're building a long-term sustainable business and you've got a list and you're communicating with that list and all that good stuff, it would have been a downer, but you would have your assets still in place, which is your list. So how do we develop, how do we get the tools? How do we get the resources? How do we get paid traffic? Because that does cost money. Don't try to build your business on the cheap. Now, obviously, if you can get a tool over here that does the same thing for cheaper than you can get a tool over there, then, you know, get the tool. But you're not going to build a long-term sustainable business without it being on purpose. We have to invest in our businesses. Now, THW Global is free, but don't treat it like a free business, and make sure that you get tools and resources that help you build a following, and then ultimately you start driving paid traffic. None of this free traffic stuff. You might have to do that now, but ultimately you want paid traffic. Okay, so we've introduced to our audience the 10-hour pledge. It's got two tenets. Number one, it says, when we're ready to view, when we can start viewing for money, maximize your viewing income by maxing out the number of hours you can view each week. So we know the max is 10 hours. Max that out. The second thing is take a minimum 50% to as much as 100% of your viewing income and view that as a marketing seed. You're not going out buying doodads with that. You're not paying bills with that money. You're using that as a marketing seed. Now, we give you flexibility if you do need money to pay bills, catch up, to exhale a little bit because things have been tight. And that's where the 50% comes in. And we've done that percentage because we know that people viewing in different areas are going to make different amounts. So someone in the U.S. viewing 10 hours a week, 40 plus hours a month might generate $1,000 US. But somebody in another country, that might generate 400 or 500. And again, we've shared why the rates are going to be different from region to region. In the U.S., the average after-tax income that a person has in the U.S. is about $2,800 US. The average in the Philippines is about 300 and some change. So an advertiser advertising to a Filipino audience is not going to pay the same rate as an advertiser advertising to a U.S. based audience. And so, if someone is, let's say, in a country where you did your maximum, but instead of your maximum yielding $1,000 in viewing, your maximum yielded $400 US when denominated in US dollars, I'm still saying take 50% to 100% of that and use that as a seed to begin getting the tools, the resources, and ultimately the paid traffic. Now, I wanted to refresh you on the compensation model. A very dear buddy of mine who I thought understood the compensation sent out an email to his list, and I'm on his list, and he was saying, hey, guys, I'm sorry. I messed up, Brian. There's a lot more money in this THW Global thing than what I thought. So let's cover this real quickly. All right, so you've got the $25. There's three numbers that we need to understand right now. Sounds like there's going to be more compensation coming, but we could build a massive income with these three numbers. 25. This is the up to $25 an hour for you to view content. By now, you should know why it says up to $25 and why some people in certain countries aren't going to see $25 because of advertisers aren't paying as much to advertise in those particular areas. Okay? All right? Doesn't make anybody who lives in the U.S. any better than anybody else. That's just the economics. Then there's the 5, up to 5. Up to $5 per hour for anyone that you personally refer. When they view, you earn up to $5 per hour. Now, that is going to be prorated. So if you have someone that you referred, let's say in the U.S., and they earn $25, you're going to earn your $5 for the hour that they viewed. If you have someone that you referred, I saw somebody here from Venezuela. I have no idea what the pay rate is going to be in Venezuela, but let's say that somebody in Venezuela made $10 in U.S. dollars an hour versus 25. Well, then that $5 is going to be prorated. Now, what that also means is that let's say you are in Venezuela. Let's say you are in the Philippines where what you make in viewing is lower than, let's say, in the U.S. In time, when you start driving paid traffic, you can buy traffic and direct traffic from the U.S. or from Canada or from Australia, those areas where the pay rate may be higher because the income amounts may be higher. All right. So you could be living in the Philippines, and if you were doing a paid traffic campaign, you could do a paid traffic campaign where all of your traffic is coming from the U.S. and Canada and Australia and New Zealand and the UK. Those are considered the top 5 countries in internet marketing, not only because you're English speaking, and no disrespect to my non-English speaking folks, but those are the areas where typically the folks in those areas have more disposable income to buy whatever it is the internet marketers are wanting them to buy. Okay? All right, so 25 and 5, and then there is the 1. The 1 is anybody in your 10-level organization that views, you could earn up to $1 per hour. All right, so here's one of our teammates. They sent this to me a few hours ago. They, on their first level, they've personally enrolled 391 folks. Make a note of this. We're going to refer to a section of our following as Club 100. Club 100, Carol, are those that ultimately enroll at least 100 themselves. And if you will take our message of the 10-hour pledge, maximizing your viewing, investing 50% to 100% of your viewing into the tools and the resources and the traffic, because what that's going to allow you to do is build the referral side so that ultimately you're going to make a lot more money from the referral side of other people viewing in your organization than you will make in viewing of your own content. All right, so this gentleman has personally enrolled 391 folks. All right, so what do we know? We know that the potential that he has, give me a moment, let me bring up my calculator. So he's got 391 folks he's personally enrolled. The potential is that each of those people that he enrolled could watch an hour's worth of content and he could earn up to $5 an hour. So in a perfect world, if every one of those folks watched an hour, and let's say he got the max of $5, that's $1,955 in override income. And we're only talking about 1 hour. Now, the fact is that his folks can watch 10 hours. Now, I'm going to give you a perfect world scenario. We know the perfect world does not exist. If that happened, that's $19,550 just from these folks watching 10 hours a week. Now, we know that not everybody's going to watch 10 hours a week. But what we have seen in marketing and other things in life is that typically 20% of the people get 80% of the work done. 80% of the work gets done by 20% of the people. Now, I know this person, and I know that they are a list builder and that they communicate very effectively and very consistently with their list. So, if just 20% of this happened, there's the potential here of about $3,900 on a weekly basis if 391 people times $5, which is the max that he can earn in their viewing of an hour. Let's say they view 10 hours, but we know that not everybody's going to view 10 hours. So let's say that 20% of that happens. This is what could happen with those numbers in a week's time. And I know this person. As a matter of fact, we were talking today, and he's been on vacation, and he said, shoot, when this thing goes forth, I'm going to have at least 1,000 personally enrolled. And I know he will. And he's going to do much more than that because he's done all of this by just going to his existing list. He like myself, he's not done any paid traffic just yet, okay? All right. Now, the $1 is anybody in your 10 levels. Anybody in your 10 levels that views an hour could be up to $1 per hour for you. So they have 11,000 folks in that organization, 11,362. If everybody viewed 1 hour, whether it was 1 hour a day or 1 hour a week, and let's say he maxed out at the buck there, okay, that's $11,362 if everybody just viewed an hour. Now, our goal is to average a higher viewership, which is why we do the Tuesday night webinars, which is why we do the Thursday night webinars, which is why we communicate several times throughout the week. So that, first off, people don't feel alone. First off, people feel like there's some leadership, and they keep hearing it, they keep hearing it, they keep hearing it. And so the chances are they will view more because they keep hearing it. Either people are going to resonate with our message or they're going to opt out. Either they're going to resonate with our message and start to do it, or they're going to be deaf to our message. I want one or the other. I either want them to be deaf to our message or do what we're saying that we're going to do. And obviously, I would prefer the latter. Okay? All right, so now, I wanted to give you that as a reminder of the THW Global compensation. This person right now, if everybody in their organization just viewed an hour a week, and let's assume they average $1 per hour, so maybe, obviously they've got their own personal people that view. We're talking $11,000 a week, And we haven't gotten started. That's $44,000 potential a month, and that's not even including any growth in the organization. Okay, so now, let's talk about a tool that we're going to be launching before the end of this month. And it's likely that we wouldn't have begun viewing. Well, I say likely. I don't know. We might be viewing for money before the end of this month. But if we were just looking at the soft launch timer as the timer, then we will launch this tool, the reverse advertising mobile marketing system, before the end of the month. So let's say that we launch it before it's viewing. So you're going to want to pick that up. And obviously you haven't viewed yet. So that's an investment you're going to make in your business. But hey, you're not spending any money for THW Global itself. All right. Now, ultimately, we're going to be driving traffic to that system. So I hit a brick wall in my business a few years ago. I was promoting a particular offer, great offer. I had gone to my list with it, got a lot of people that joined me. But I started seeing my numbers, my personal enrollment numbers, my personal recruiting numbers started to slow down. Why? Because everybody that was already in my list had seen and heard the offer, and they'd either decided to join or not join or what have you. And at that time, I hadn't gone to some of the higher level mastermind courses just yet. And so I was looking for ways, how do I get good, solid, high quality, laser targeted traffic, Andrew, to my offer? And I was actually referred to a gentleman that is in the email traffic game, what they call the solo ad business. The guy on the right-hand side, real guy, his name is Justin. And Justin was in the email marketing traffic game, meaning also referred to as solo ads. Now, we talked about this on last week, but we got a lot of folks that maybe heard that message for the first time, need to hear it again for it to really sink in, or maybe are hearing it for the very first time. So you've probably heard of a solo ad. What is a solo ad? All right, solo ad is essentially email marketing traffic, where you have someone like Justin who's got a very large email list, 20,000 email subscribers, 30,000, 50,000, maybe 100,000 or more. And what Justin was doing is he was offering to rent out his list. So what would happen is, as a solo ad buyer, I would go to someone like Justin who already has a large list, who already has a relationship with that list. So he's communicating with that list. He's providing some value to that list. And then he would often then send a promotional offer to that list on behalf of his solo buyer, on behalf of the person renting out his list. So I go to Justin and I would say, I want a 500-click solo ad. What that means is, Justin, you've got a big list. I want you to send out an email that only has my promotion, only has my offer, only has my link in there, not yours, not Tom's, not Betty's, not Al's, just mine, so that when people click onto the link, they are taken to wherever I want to take them, which is typically going to be a lead capture page where I can capture the lead, and then once the person opts in, it takes them to some type of automatic sales presentation to present my offer. Now, most people are not going to join the first time they see and or hear the message, which is why it's so important that you are collecting the lead. If all you did, if you went out and you did paid traffic, and all you did was you sent someone to your replicated THW Global site, you just lost a lot of money, because most people are not going to join the very first time they see and or hear. This is why getting that list, developing that list, cultivating that list, and providing some value to that list is so important. Now, we understand that a lot of people don't know how to bring value to a list. So even if they had a list, they wouldn't quite know what to do or say, which is why we are launching systems. We're launching our mobile marketing system, and not long after that, we're launching our marketing and training platform that will have what we call Value Vault messages that you can send out. I never say my name in those, Well, you can send out valuable training to your list so they start to warm up to you. They start to like you. And then, as let's say if you were sending out as an email, if you were sending it out as a text or what have you, now in the end of every one of those Value Vault messages, we're telling them, hey, get back to the person that sent you this video and check out what they have going on. Check out what business interests they have or what they have up their sleeve, so that you can now start to build a bond with your list. Let's get back to solo ads, okay? So Justin is a solo ad provider. Justin, I want 500 clicks. And he would simply charge for me getting 500 clicks. All right? So I'm calling that renting his list. I never see his list. I send him my link. He sends out an email to his list and until I get my 500 clicks. Normally I'll get a little bit more than my 500 clicks. 500 visitors going to my website. Email traffic is one of the quickest ways to begin to build your list. Now, there's some things you got to watch out for with email traffic, and I'm not going to talk about that tonight. But those of you that will leverage either of our systems or both, many of you are going to leverage both as we launch them, the mobile marketing platform first and then the marketing and training platform called the Funnel Blueprint a few weeks afterwards. Either one of those, you're going to have our list of email traffic providers that we use. All right, and you'll be able to use one of them could probably provide 200 to 250,000 clicks a week to the same offer. So that means somebody's doing a 500 click, somebody's doing 1,000 click, somebody's doing a 2,500 click, meaning visitors going to your site. Okay, now, so the way Justin was building his business was like someone who owns a hotel and they're renting out rooms, okay? What Justin was doing is Justin, though he would send out from time to time his own promotional offer, his primary business was in renting his list. His primary business, his primary income stream was in renting his list, all right? Now, I want you to think this through, because Justin and I developed a great relationship. I have invested thousands in doing traffic with Justin, and he had tiers of traffic purchases, and he had like a monthly membership where you got if you subscribe to his monthly membership, you got X amount more clicks. You also got a chance to do some personal consultation about your offer. He would consult with you in the development of your lead capture page and what he felt like would work best with his list and so on and so forth. So he brought a ton of value. So I did a lot of business with him, became a client of his, and we would have periodic conversations. We'd actually jump on the phone. We'd connect on Facebook, and then we would jump on the phone, and we would talk about my offer, this campaign, so on and so forth. So ultimately, we developed a pretty decent relationship. I'd say a good relationship. And I started asking him about his solo ad business. And I was floored when I found out that he was generating $30,000 a month from his solo ad business. 30 grand a month from his solo ad business. If people never bought anything from him, never joined him in anything from his own promotional emails going out to his list, he had enough people like myself renting his list on a consistent basis that it was generating $30,000 a month. Now, I've got to tell you that when we had that discussion, I started thinking, I'm in the wrong business. I need to be in the traffic business. Well, later on, okay, now, by the way, when you do traffic like that, the provider can't promise that you're going to get so many recruits or so many sales, okay? That's going to be up to your offer and up to your lead capture page. But here's an example of a lead capture page. So maybe he had something in the messaging that talked about secrets exposed, and I just put this together with one of my lead capture page systems just to show you this. Somebody puts in their email address to get access to this free video series. Obviously, that would then take them to a video that's trying to get them to join something or buy something. But if they don't join or buy right away, as most will not, I've already prepped them that this is going to be a 6-part video series. Be on the lookout for another email tomorrow and another email a day or two afterwards, so on and so forth. Now, there were times that I did campaigns with Justin and I got immediate sales, I got immediate recruits, which obviously warranted me wanting to do more business with him. There were times when I did a campaign and I didn't get immediate sales or immediate recruits, or not that much. But I still got what? I still got opt-ins. And so you have to understand that aside from you, because your business is you and your following, your list is your second most important asset. So even if people didn't join me right away, didn't buy right away, I still have them in my list. And if I continue to communicate with them, then they may very well do business with me down the road. So again, sometimes we kick butt with a campaign. Sometimes that didn't quite happen, but we still increased our mailing list. Okay. Now, what does that have to do with the mobile marketing system? Because what I want you to get is there is a segment of our marketplace where there are traffic providers that make money whether or not people join them in any business, or make money whether or not people buy their product. Now, obviously, I buy traffic from Justin. I already have some traffic ready to go just as soon as our mobile marketing list launches. All right, so I buy traffic from Justin, but I've gotten good results because I'm building my list. And this is a way that you can scale your business, because let's say if you went to Justin or somebody like Justin, now I could take a brand new person who knows nothing about traffic generation and say, outsource your traffic. Go here to this email traffic provider, all right, and simply buy traffic, whatever your resources allow. And that's why the 10-hour pledge, so that ultimately you have a budget. You've got a starting monthly advertising budget along with having the tools and resources. And so as you start to build your network and you start generating more revenues, all right, now you can actually scale into more advertising. So we've said take 50% to 100% of your viewing income and sync that into tools, resources, and traffic. What do you do when your team starts to grow? What do you do? The person that I just showed, that let's say they made $20,000 for the month. Do you put all that $20,000 that came from the referral side in your pocket? No. You're going to take at least, you might want to jot this one down, a minimum of 25% of that income. And that goes back into your business in the form of traffic, in the form of maybe some tools that you haven't adopted just yet, so on and so forth. So ultimately, you're going to put the majority of the money in your pocket, but you're going to always have a minimum of 25% of your income beyond your viewing that's going to go back into marketing, so that you're ever growing your list. What is our target for you? For you to build a long-term sustainable business. Building a long-term sustainable business means you need to build a list and you need to keep growing that list. Most of what I do in my business, aside of working on me, has something to do with my list. Me cutting a training video has to do with me connecting and bonding with my list. Several times a day, I'm going into my email autoresponder to see how many opens I got of an email that I sent that day, how many clicks I got to a link that I sent that day. I'm going to a new system that I just started using, which is a push notification system, to see how many people got my push notification to their computer and how many people clicked onto it. I'm going to my video blog that I use to host, to put all of our training when I send out a recorded training. And I'm going to see how many people clicked onto, I'm checking the responsiveness of my list. If I see those numbers are going down, then I'm saying, okay, am I not providing value? You know, are people getting tired of this message? What do I need to do? So most of my time outside of working on myself is working on either building my list or bonding with my list, because I know as I build and I bond, I'll ultimately monetize my list. Now, let me stop for just a moment. How many of you right now, from what we've shared, and we're over an hour, I said that we're going to probably be doing about 90 minutes for the next little bit on Thursday nights. How many of you are getting value from this training? This is making some sense. You're getting value. It's not over your head. It makes sense. Good. Fantastic. Okay? Fantastic. We are recording this. We probably won't get it out right away because we've got some time constraints to get the mobile marketing platform. All right, now I need to get to the mobile marketing real quickly. Okay. Coaching clients, and he would show them how he was building his solo ad business so that those coaching clients of his could also get into the email traffic game, the solo ad business. And I got to tell you, I was so intrigued with it. It was $10,000 in coaching. And the only reason I didn't do it, is I moved to my Caribbean paradise. But in my Caribbean paradise, in the rural area that we were in, we had horrible, sucky internet at home. And so I had to go to the office in town to the internet tower to get okay. Never great, but okay. My wife, unfortunately, started having health issues. There were times when I needed to be home. So when he started, Marcus started saying, And so what he focused on is developing systems so that Bob, who's new, Susan, who's new, could basically just plug into his system. So really all that Alan had to do and Angela had to do was get traffic to the system. The system did the educating and the explaining so that the right people were ready to take advantage. The system did the sifting and the sorting. You never had to try to convince anybody. See, here's the thing. For the right person, you can't say the wrong thing. There's some of you that have followed me for years, And there's been some offers that we have promoted that didn't work out. But you're the right person for me and I'm the right person for you. And you didn't lay it at my charge. And it was like, okay, that's part of entrepreneurship. Let's go on to the next deal. But then for the wrong person, you can't say the right thing. So I'm loading up loads of content on YouTube. I'm spending hours and hours in planning the content, doing the content. And as far as I can see, no disrespect to anybody else, nobody's loaded up the type of content about THW as I have. And that's not to, do the whole ego thing. That's just, I'm constantly looking to see what's out there because YouTube has been a big part of my THW experience. And I haven't even started doing any paid YouTube just yet. So I'm looking to see what's out there. I'm looking to see what people are saying. Okay. As a matter of fact, I see that a lot of people actually load my stuff on their channel, which you are free to do. Anything I put on YouTube is free public domain. You feel free to use that. If you know how to load it on your channel, if you don't, I'll show you how to do that kind of stuff. Load it on your channel, okay? Feel free to use it, okay? So, this system architect, his systems, they were promoting one offer, a travel offer, and in 18 months, they did $200 million in revenue, largely from people who had never had success in marketing before. He's all about systems. There's a reason why franchises have a higher success rate than mom and pop shops, because franchises are systematic. Okay, so we got into this mobile marketing system almost 3 years ago as a beta test. There were some things that I absolutely loved about the system right away. Now, we purchased a license that allow us to customize a presentation funnel for any offer. So I could do a custom mobile funnel presentation for Amway, for Herbalife, for anything, all right? But we've decided we're going to do that for THW Global. And it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers speak. June 16th, we started sharing about THW Global. We started doing some webinars. And overnight, we had thousands of people registered for webinars, thousands of people opting into our email list. We have promised you that in that webinar list, we're never going to send out personal referral links, and we're going to always keep that promise so that you feel comfortable as you're building your team, that you can have your teammates opting into the list, getting good quality content, but we're never trying to take them away from you. We're never saying, hey, come over here and sign up with my THW link. People ask me, why don't you say your name on the webinars? I don't say my name, so you can't go to Facebook and look me up. That's why. I don't say my name so that if someone's leveraging our content, all they hear is my voice. They might hear me say Doc. There's a reason why I chose something like Doc. If you go and you put Doc in Google, you ain't going to find me. I've done that so that we can build with the team in mind. Now I've got to hurry up. I got 14 minutes, okay? All right, so what happened was at the end of last year, I was developing a custom funnel with that mobile marketing platform for another offer. And the architect of the system, when he saw the video content that we were loading up for that offer, he got in touch with me and he said, dude, you got it, man. You got it. You see the grand vision. Here's a guy who's generated $3 million a month in his business. He said, if you will allow me, I would love to mentor you, because there's not a lot of people that come along that I feel like get it. And I feel like you got it. Okay. So since the beginning of the year, he and I have had hours of conversation on the phone, via text, so on and so forth. We were talking about launching the funnel blueprint first, and then we were going to come back with the mobile funnel. And he and I talked, and he said, man, you need to launch the mobile funnel because this thing is hot. This thing is hot. Take advantage of the fact that it's hot. Now, let me tell you what he did. And he told me this back in March-ish of this year. But he just released this just a few weeks ago. So for months, I've known this was going to happen, but I couldn't say anything about it. What he did is he developed a system. One of the reasons it took so long for us to get to this point is a very complex algorithm that basically, of course, this system is going to promote THW Global. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that. The reverse advertising system is promoting THW Global, okay? All right. But this is what he figured out. He knows the solo ad business. He knows that the ability to rent a list is a phenomenal way for people to generate revenue. But most people are not Justin, and most people are not Marcus. Most people don't have a large list already that they can rent out. And even if they did, they have to learn all the techie stuff to be able to get into the solo ad business. So his thing was, what if I could develop a system that's mobile marketing based, because a SMS text lead is far more valuable than an email lead. But what if I could design a system where virtually anybody using the system, if they just try a little bit, will make money? Well, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, what if you took this solo ad concept of being able to rent out your list and applied that systematically through his system? He's a systems guy. It took them a long time to get all the algorithms and all the testing. And so what he figured out is a way to allow anyone that's using our reverse advertising marketing system to get into what I call the mobile solo ad business without all of the techie stuff. Now, what does this mean? What this means is the mobile marketing system will have a lead capture page. And we sent out last week, I think it's a minute and a half, 2-minute introduction video. Now, when he saw the video, he just saw the video a couple days ago. He messaged me. He said, dude, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed that video. And he and I spoke today for probably a good hour and a half about the system, launching it, releasing it, and some things that I need to do on my end so that it launches smoothly and all that other good stuff, okay? So this is what he figured out. He figured out a way that you could have the reverse advertising system, the mobile marketing platform, 1. 2, you get opt-ins. People subscribe. They go, whether you sent them there because you knew them, whether you sent them there because of paid traffic, whether you sent them there because you posted something on some social media site. Somebody goes, they see the 2-minute video, they say, that sounds interesting. They put in their name, they put in their cell phone number, and that lead is now your lead, okay? Now, obviously, the system is designed to talk to them about THW Global, to get them to join you in THW Global, and to get them also leveraging the mobile marketing system so that they can also start to build their own list. You have to build a list anyway. And so my mentor's concept was get paid for doing what you have to do anyway. In other words, as you build your list, rent that list out to the system. Now, I won't get into all the particulars about how all that works. Just the concept is what I want you to get, is when you get leads, you can rent those leads out to the system. All right. So let me share with you the potential. We talked about this briefly last week, but I don't know that we were really able to show just the bigness of this. Now, so what this is going to mean for us is a dual, multiple income stream promoting one link. In other words, those of us that leverage the system are going to promote people going to the system. You're going to have a percentage of people that opt in, that become subscribers. And I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to monetize those subscribers, even if they don't join you in THW Global. And if you've got some other offers, even if they don't buy or join your other offers, how you could monetize that relationship. Now, obviously, we want people to join THW Global. So the way it works is you'll have traffic going to your system, whether it is organic traffic that you generated, whether it is you buying traffic. You'll have traffic going to the system. A percentage of those folks are going to subscribe, opt in with their name and their email and their cell phone number. They're going to be your lead. Okay. You're going to be able to rent out those leads to the system. And when you rent out those leads to the system, every lead could be worth up to $2 a week. The system is going to allow you to rent out once a week initially, and then ultimately when there's more people in the community leveraging the whole entire system, it will go to 2 times a week. So if you had 100 subscribers to the system, they came in to hear about THW Global. We don't mention in the 2-minute video, we don't say THW Global. We mention what THW Global does, but we don't mention THW Global, so they opt into your system. All right. So you could actually have someone that is in THW Global already who's not following what we're doing, that opts into your system. Well, they're not going to join THW Global with you because they're already in THW Global. But they are a lead of yours. And now you can talk to them about anything else you want to talk to them about. They opted into your system. It's your list. But you can also rent that list out, and you could generate up to $2 per lead. If you've got 100 opt-ins, that could be $200 a week. $2 per lead per week is starting off. Now, ultimately, when the system allows us to rent out twice a week, then that would bump up to as much as $4 a week per lead. And these are leads that maybe haven't bought anything. These are leads that maybe haven't joined you in anything. And so you have the potential to make money up front, whether they've joined or bought anything or not, by renting out the list. And then obviously, if they join you in THW Global, there's money to be made there. And since they're in your list, if you have other things that you want to share with them, those are potential additional revenue streams as well. 500 opt-ins, ladies and gentlemen, could be $1,000 a week. 1,000 opt-ins could be $2,000 a week. This is just building what you have to build anyway to have a long-term sustainable business, is you have to have a list. So now you're building the most responsive of all lists. That's what I saw. What I saw is that when I would send a text message to my list, I would get immediate feedback because people are tied to their phones. 90% of people are going to read the text message that comes in. As it relates to email marketing, if you're dealing with a cold list where people don't really know you, about 5% are going to open it up. When you're dealing with a very warm list like our webinar list, we'll get about a 20, sometimes a 30% open rate. But that still means that 70%, even though they've come to a webinar, even though they know about THW Global, don't open it up. But if I send out a text, 90% of the folks are going to at least look at the text. So this is an income stream that could be a standalone income stream. Now, last week we were saying, hey, we're going to launch this. And part of that was it was going to be a hedge because, we hadn't seen anything. We weren't sure. We hadn't heard a voice. I'm a communicator, so I want to see somebody do a webinar. I want to see someone do a conference call. We're seeing increased communication. But this time last week, we hadn't seen anything. So, I didn't know if it was crap, if it was gold. I was leaning towards gold. I was hoping for gold. But I didn't know. Now I certainly believe it's gold because of what we've seen. Okay? With that being said, why not have a system that can make money on the front end that leads people to join you in THW Global, and when they join you in THW Global through the system, they're going to be more educated about what THW Global is, why they should commit to 10 hours of viewing a week, and why they should take 50 to 100% of their viewing income and invest it back into the tools, the resources, and the traffic. And what is that going to do for you? That's going to create a culture on your team of people that treat their business like a business and are not treating it like a freebie. 750,000 folks registered, but the first day of beta, only 40,000 viewed because 700,000 folks are treating it like a freebie. 40,000 folks treated it like a business, saying, I know I'm not making money right now, but I'm investing in what the potential could be, so I'm going to view. The next day, I think we were at about 70,000, 72,000 folks that were viewing. Okay? So not only do you want to get people joining you in THW Global, you want to ultimately find long-term partners that, whether it's THW Global or ABC or DEF or GHI, if you offer it, they will listen. and many will join or buy whatever it happens to be. It shouldn't just be THW Global. Let THW Global be the catalyst, helping you develop the resources, the money, so that you can invest in marketing, so that ultimately you have other things that have nothing to do with THW Global, other things that have nothing to do with network marketing, other things, so that you have multiple streams in multiple niches. I got to show you this one, and then I'll be finished for the evening. There's a two-tier structure. So what happens with this is tier one would be any of your personal opt-ins. So anyone that subscribes to reverse advertising system by simply putting in their name and their cell phone number, all right, and they do it at your page, all right, that's your lead. You can rent out that lead to the system, all right. I don't have time to go to all the particulars on how that works. So just the concept is what I want you to get. You rent out the lead to the system. You earn up to $2 a week for every opt-in, all right. That's what we just discussed. Now, let's say that you have someone that comes through the system. So they know the system works. They opted in. Maybe you rented out the lead and you got some money from that standpoint. They go through the training modules that we have that's designed to educate them on THW Global. It answers some of the questions that people have, like, what do you mean by up to $25 an hour? We address that right there in, I refer to it as a training module. It's a sales presentation, but I refer to it as a training module because people are getting content. They're not just getting rah-rah swing around the chandeliers, okay? They're getting actionable, this makes sense. Man, why didn't someone break it down like this before? Content, all right? So there is a module that's specific to THW Global. There's a module that's specific to why you also want to leverage this mobile marketing system, how the two work hand in hand, how you make money with THW Global, how you make money with the mobile marketing system, how they are synergistically linked to each other. So when somebody comes to that system, they're not only going to want to join you for free in THW Global, and they may have already joined you, and maybe you're sitting through the system because they've already joined you, okay? But they're going to want to get the system. Now, when they get the system, and they start getting leads, and they start renting leads to the system, they make the up to $2 per week per opt-in. You would get an override of 50 cents override potentially per week per opt-in. All right. Now, when the system allows us to do this twice a week, then that means you can earn up to $1 per week from all of those leads on your second tier. So as I start to round third, all right, and we'll get into some optional Q&A. So what if let's say that you now have a few people that are leveraging and leasing the system at your referral, meaning you've got the system, they get the system from you, and they're just kind of getting started. And whether this is one person or whether this is multiple people, that collectively they have 1,000 opt-in leads in the system. Well, they collectively could make $2 per lead or $2,000 for the week. You could make 50 cents a week times those 1,000 opt-ins. That could be an additional $500 a week in overrides. And they aren't your leads. You have nothing to do with those leads. What you simply did is you referred someone to the system, and the system has a two-tier compensation element. I continue to say I could build a business with this model if there was no THW Global. If I never connected it to another income offer, I could just build it from, hey, you need to build a list, and here's a way that you can monetize that list, essentially have a mobile solo ad type of business. Let's say in time, they've grown their lists, and collectively they've got 10,000 opt-ins. Well, that could be $5,000 a week in overrides when we go to being able to rent out twice a week. And that might be, a few months down the road. We've got to have more folks that's going to be a part of that overall community. That's what he's building. He's building a community of list builders, of mobile list builders, and people that actually come to the system wanting to buy opt-ins. where a person says, hey, I want to buy opt-ins to go to my offer. Instead of the system selling clicks, instead of people saying, hey, I want to buy clicks, where someone clicks to my site, people go to the system and say, I want to buy opt-ins. I want to buy people that are opting in to the mobile marketing platform to show them my offer, whatever that your offer happens to be. All right. In time, I want you to be Club 100, where you've personally enrolled 100 folks that have taken the pledge. Right hand raised. I pledge, I covenant to view the maximum amount of content each week and to take 50% to 100% of my viewing income. And that's always going to be at least the start of my marketing budget. And ultimately, as I build my income from my referral network, I'm going to take at least 25% of that to consistently go back into my marketing budget. At that time, a lot of that's going to be pure advertising, pure traffic to grow your list even more. So 100,000 opt-ins amongst your system users, that's not a lot, to be honest with you. All right, times the potential of 50 cents a week, that right there could be $50,000 a week. Now, that's in a perfect world. Not all opt-ins are going to be rented, every single week, so on and so forth. All right, but a percentage of that is going to happen. Okay. All right. So now, I wanted to do that because we introduced that last week. I didn't have some of these slides up, and